I'm Minji, and today I'm going to be reading from the subreddit r/stories. You can write real stories or nonfiction stories or fictional stories. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just read this one that caught my eye. It was written a day ago, and it's called My Unheard Story. I am an 18-year-old girl. I choose to hide my identity because I don't want anyone to stop me from writing my own story. I'm writing this because I have always felt unheard, unwanted, and unloved. I can't keep everything inside anymore, so I want to share my real life story. I don't remember much about my early childhood, but I always dreamed of becoming a successful person. I wanted to become an independent and financially successful woman. I'm still working hard to achieve that dream. As a child, I always wanted to be the best in school. I was good at studies and scored excellent marks. My parents were proud of me, but as I grew older, my grades started falling and I became very upset. When I was 11 years old, I got my first period. My mother told me never to tell anyone about it because she believed it was something shameful and dirty. So I stayed silent. Even today, I suffer from unbearable period cramps, especially on the first and second day. The pain becomes so intense that I sometimes have to take 2 or 3 painkillers just to get through the day. I still remember one incident from 6th grade. I was wearing my white school uniform when I suddenly realized it had been stained with blood. I was extremely embarrassed. I couldn't tell anyone because my mother taught me to stay silent about periods, so I suffered alone. When I reached 10th grade, I studied with all my heart. I worked incredibly hard. Although my marks were not as high as I had hoped, they were still good considering I had prepared through self-study without any coaching. One thing that has always hurt me is the difference in the way my mother treated me and my brother. Even today, she treats us differently. My friends have noticed it too whenever they visit my home. They often tell me that my mother clearly shows favoritism toward my brother. My grandparents were also very short-tempered. No one in our family spoke kindly to one another. There was always anger, frustration, and conflict. It felt as if nobody understood anyone else. There was no peace or emotional connection in our home. I remember that whenever my brother and I ate together, my mother always would lovingly ask him if he wanted more food. She never asked me the same question, not even once. I've seen this difference since childhood. Earlier, I used to wonder why people wished they had sons instead of daughters. But after everything I experienced, I started feeling that perhaps it was better not to be born than to suffer every single day for being a girl. One day, my mother even told me that she had wanted a son, but instead, I was born. Those words broke me. For a long time, I questioned my own existence and wondered why I had been born at all. My mother also considered periods to be something impure. Because of those beliefs, I was never cared for during those painful days. Nobody asked if I was okay or if I needed help. I grew up feeling completely alone. In 11th grade, I started preparing for NEET. So that's NEET. I looked it up and I think it looks like it says it's a national level medical entrance exam. It stands for National Eligibility CRUM Entrance Test. So, here we go. In 11th grade, I started preparing for NEET. I wanted to move away from home because the atmosphere there had become unbearable. There were constant family disputes over property between my uncle and my father's elder brother. The house was filled with attention every single day. I'm a very sensitive person. Even small things affect me deeply. Somehow, I moved to indoor for my 2 years of NEET preparation, but life there did not suit me. Since then, I have been facing several health problems. I often feel extremely weak and sleepy. I still try to take care of myself by doing yoga and exercising. Even today, I don't feel comfortable at home. Nobody talks to me with love. Nobody talks to me with love. Most conversations begin with anger. If I use my phone, I am immediately questioned. The truth is, I use my phone because I feel lonely. There's no one to talk to, but if I try to explain this to my family, they think I am disrespecting my elders. I gave everything I had to my neat preparation. I sacrificed my sleep. Sometimes I even skipped meals just to study. I worked day and night, yet my test scores remained low, and slowly I became mentally exhausted. It was heartbreaking to put in so much effort for 2 years and still not get the results I dreamed of. When the final exam came, I couldn't perform the way I had hoped. Today, I have only one wish. I just want to be happy, because I don't think I have ever truly been happy. So that's the end of the story. And it does look like 2 people have commented. One person said, I live in a similar environment. All I can say is when or if you decide to leave them, keep it that way. Toxic people don't improve themselves. And even if it's really bad, you eventually have to get over it. I'm a very resentful person, and it only helps to keep a distance and remember the wrongs done to me. But it doesn't give you peace. Good luck, honestly. Yeah, I don't think they could probably implement that advice, because if they're not, if they're from a very traditional, very cultural or religious family, then it's not going to work out very well. She's going to feel even more lonely. So I don't think that girl can really implement that advice. But yeah, I also don't think that's a very healthy way. It's not good to be resentful of people, and to distance yourself even. I mean, in a sense, yes, but when it comes to family, it's a bit difficult. You do want to keep a distance in some aspects, but you still want to be respectful. But you also can't really you can't change people or make people feel any particular way, right? You can only control your own emotions. But the next person, it looks like they actually it's kind of like active listening, but through text. But yeah, it seemed like they actually cared about this person, which is really nice to see. So yeah, if you guys relate to this, if you guys have any advice, anything that you would want to share to this person, then I definitely encourage you to. Please feel free to also comment if you'd like me to continue doing this. I mean, I'm still gonna do it, but it's nice to know if you would. If you'd like to change the format. Currently it's just I'm just playing a game, but if you'd like to see something else, I can also do that. I probably will be doing it while drawing or doing something else, because I think it's cool to have 2 different things show up in the same way. I guess it's like, maybe it's the like too much stimulation for some people, but I think it's cool because you don't have to like pay too much attention or get bored with one thing, but you can listen to the other. It offers you like 2 things. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. I think if she's religious, then I think she definitely should rely on, what she believes in, because that's the only constant that will always remain there, at least I think for most religious beliefs. But yeah, like there are a lot of difficult things that happen in life, but it's never something you cannot bear. It's never something that's beyond what you can bear. So yeah, I think that's probably my advice. Just keep going through it. Have faith, have hope, find joy in the things that you find joy in. Look for joy in other things that are safe and healthy and beneficial to you. I wouldn't really worry too much about being successful in the common aspect or common like societal idea of success. You just got to figure out what your form of success is. Some people you don't have to meet the expectations of others necessarily. They're not living your life, you are living your life, and you just need to communicate that. No one can necessarily force you into loving or wanting to be something that you don't want to be, or love something that you don't actually love. Anyway, yeah, I would say just power through it probably, and just find joy and find relief in the small things. Um, be secure in who you are. Figure out who you are and who you want to be, what kind of person you want to be, and what traits you want to have. Loneliness is very difficult to get over, but I think if you are a religious person, it's a lot more comforting. But anyway, I think that's everything that I would want to say about this. If you guys do have any particular stories you want me to read, I'd be happy to. First time reading something is always really exciting. Alright, well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastical, amazing, extravagant life. And please take care of yourselves and others. Alright, bye-bye.